Hello everyone, I'm Nandini and welcome to the second part of our tutorial on building a fast and powered website using the design system package. In this segment, we'll explore creating intricate designs and making your website responsive. Let's look at the testimonial section of the topnotes.io website. As you can see, each testimonial is inside a UI card component. Each card has a heading, a body text, star rating, name, and the country. It also features background color, border radius on all four sides, and a quote image on the top left corner of the card. Now, to replicate this card design for multiple testimonials and future editions, we'll separate the UI design and content into different components. For example, we'll create a component called testimonial card for the UI design and a component called testimonials for the content part. Now let's go to Sublime and start creating the components. In the index.ftd file, we will first create the testimonial card component, define the values that the testimonial card component will take, such as the caption title, body description, name and country. So for that, I'll add component testimonial hyphen card card. Now I'm gonna define the values for this component such as caption, title, body description, name and country as strings. Now let's style the container. For that, we'll use ds.container and add attributes like this insert, background color, width, height and radius. So use ds.container and the container and add the attributes such as insert $ds.spaces dot insert square dot medium, background color as well, background dot solid $ts dot colors dot background dot step 1, and I'll use width fixed percent width dot fixed dot percent 30. For the height, I'm going to use height dot fixed dot pixel. You can also use percent here. I'm just going to use pixel, it's 190, and give radius medium, $ts dot radius dot medium. The next step is to add the quote image. Now to add the quote image, we use td.image td.image with specified width and anchor properties. I've already added the quote image inside the assets folder, so I'm just going to mention the location in the src as assets slash quote dot svg, and I'm going to use the anchor property. You can learn more about the anchor property in the from the link given in the description below. Anchor parent. Since it's in the top left corner, I'm going to give values only for the top and left. So it's top dot pixel colon and -6 and width, sorry, left dot pixel colon -12. You can give numbers and check for yourself to exactly where you want the quote image. I'm using the value negative because the quote image and the card overlaps on top of each other. If you want the quote image outside the container, you can give positive values here. Now I'll use the width attribute as to width fixed dot pixel 24 value 24 pixels. The next step is to structure the content with ds column and ds dot row. So, like I said previously, since this testimonial card component is only for the card design and not the content, and it needs to be used for multiple testimonials and all future additions, the content inside this card will be defined as variables. So in fastn, to denote a value as variable, we will use dollar symbol in front of that. Let me show you how to do it. So first we use ds.column and I'll be using heading tiny for the title, which is the caption or heading. So I'll be using ds dot heading hyphen tiny colon and I'll use dollar symbol and write testimonial card dot title. Likewise, I'll use a fine print for the body description. I'll use the dollar symbol to denote that it's a variable value. Mention the name of the component, testimonial card dot and description. Next, for the star ratings, I'll use ds.row and phosphor.fill with the star icon. ds.row inside the ds.row, I'll use phosphor.fill and the icon I'll be using is star. You can check out Phosphor Icons website and pick a icon of your choice. I'm gonna give size as 18 pixels. So I'm going to repeat this to create 5 stars. Just copy this and paste it. As you can see, this design has a uniform 5-star rating across all the testimonials. But if your testimonials feature different ratings, you can introduce variability for the star ratings as well. To do that, first define a variable within the testimonial card component and invoke it inside the ds.container. Let's see how to do it. So instead of using phosphor fill star, you need to first add the image of the star inside your assets folder, and then under string country can use ftd.image hyphen src icon, and then inside the ds container, and inside this ds.row inside the container you can use ftd.image src dollar testimonial card, which is the name of the component, dot icon. Now I'm going to undo this and continue with adding the name and country inside this ds.row. For the name, I'm again going to use fine print. So use ds.fine print, use dollar name of the component dot name. Again use ds.fineprint for the country as well. Country. Now the design for the testimonial card is completed. We'll proceed to create the testimonials component to compile the values and display multiple testimonials. So to do that, let's start with designing the testimonial component testimonials. Inside this component, we'll use ds.section row with the spacing attributes to establish the spacing between the testimonial cards. I'll be using spacing $ds dot spaces dot horizontal gap dot medium. I'll give flush as full, give an insert value as well. Now we'll use the wrap attribute to wrap all the elements to the next line based on the screen size. You can learn more about this attribute from the link given in the description below. So all you have to do is use wrap given as true. So when you give wrap true, based on the screen size, your UI cards will be wrapped to the next line. Now let's add the testimonials. Now inside this testimonials component, I'm going to call the testimonial card component for each testimonial specifying its details like heading, name, country, body text, and if you have the icon as variable, the star rating as variable, you can add that also. So to do that, use testimonial-card. My first testimonial's heading is outstanding quality. Give the name, country, and if you have made the icons as variable, you can simply use this. Use icon, give the path of the image, assets hyphen image dot png. Since this is optional, I'm going to comment it out in our case and then add the testimony. Now you can repeat this above structure for as many as testimonials you want. Now I've added the other testimonials. So last part is to call this testimonials component inside your DS page. Save the file. Now let's take a look at the output. So this is the output. So now all we have to do is adjust the spacing between the stars, add some color to the body text, title, name and country, and then align the bottom line to the left side and adjust the spacing between these elements like the name and country and the star rate. So let's go to Sublime. So in the component testimonial card, I'll go to ds.column and then add the spacing and height. I'll be using spacing $ds dot spaces dot horizontal gap dot space between I'll give height fixed pixel as 180. You can also use fixed percent. I'll also give color for the title description. For the title I'll be using text strong color ds dot colors dot text hyphen strong, and for the fine print I'll only use text. For the star rating, I'll first align the content to the left and then give spacing between the stars. Horizontal gap dot extra small. I'll also change the color for the name and country. For the name I'm going to go with text strong. For the country I'm going to use only text. Save this. Now let's check the output. So we got the output similar to the topnotch.io website. So following this, you can build other similar sections for your website. Like I said in the introduction of this video, we will now learn how to optimize your design for desktop and mobile. To initiate responsiveness, we will use ftd.desktop and ftd.mobile into your components. The ftd.desktop, like the name, is used to optimize your web page rendering for desktop devices, and likewise ftd.mobile is used to optimize your web page for mobile devices. The syntax for ftd.desktop and mobile is given in the blog below. The next step is to customize the design within the ftd.mobile to cater specifically to mobile devices. Now let's start with a simple component like an arrow image. I'm going to create a simple arrow component. I will be using ds.section row and add phosphor bold for the arrow image. Use phosphor bold caret down icon. I'm going to give the size as 80 pixels. I'll show you the output of this arrow. Following this, I'll show you how to make this arrow optimized for mobile and desktop versions. Let's save this and call this arrow component inside our ds.page. Let's take a look at the output. Now let's optimize this arrow for mobile version. First, I will use ds column. Inside the ds column, I'm going to use ftd.desktop. I'm going to copy from line number 300 to 309 so that I can replicate it for ftd.mobile. So instead of desktop, the mobile. Now for the mobile version, I'm going to change the size to 40. Now since I've optimized only arrow component for responsiveness, I'm going to comment out the other components inside ds.page. Let's take a look at the output. As you can see, this is the desktop version. If I right click and inspect, you can see that the size of the arrow is reduced to 40 pixels for the mobile version. Now let's consider a more complex component like the header component. The first step to achieve mobile responsiveness for the header is to add ds.column and add ftd.desktop and ftd.mobile to the header component. First I'm adding ds.column. Close the column. Now introduce FTD.desktop. Close it. Copy FTD.desktop. Replicate it for FTD.mobile. And paste it below FTD.desktop. Now once this is done, all that is left is to modify the component design inside FTD.mobile. So unlike the desktop version, in the mobile version, we will have only the logo, a login button, and make the header links visible only when the user engages with the icon. In our case, we will be using a hamburger icon. Now let's see how to do it. So first we'll change the section row to section column. Then change any horizontal gap to vertical gap if any. There is another horizontal gap which we will change it to vertical gap and give space between. We'll remove the width attribute and add align content to center. So inside this DS row, we will be adding the icon, the logo, and the login button. So let me remove all these header links. Also add this image inside the row. I first want to show the icon, then the logo, and then the login button. So let's start with the icon. I'm going to use phosphor for bold, use the list icon and give size 32. Now we are going to introduce event handling to this icon so that when the user clicks on the icon, the header links are visible. You can learn about the different built-in events and functions available in fastn and documentation on how to use them from the link given in the description. So the first step is to make sure the header links are visible only when the button is clicked and remains hidden unless otherwise. This mimics a drop-down menu effect. So to do that, first go to the component and add optional boolean dollar open colon false. Next we will add the on-click event with toggle function to the icon. So here you can add dollar on-click dollar colon dollar ftd dot toggle in brackets dollar a equal to dollar header dot open and close it. Now Now before proceeding to the next step, I'll like to add the info button inside this DS row. I'll also delete this part. Now we will use ds.column to design the drop-down effect with the if condition and add the header links. As you can see, I've used the if condition in the ds.column. So this will make sure that the toggle function here. So the toggle function upon the on-click event will display the header links. In other words, when the user clicks on the icon, the header links will be visible in a drop-down kind of effect, and when clicked again, it will be closed. You can also see that I have used insert, height, background color, and align content attributes, the DS column, so that the header links are visible differently than the header. Now, since I've optimized only the header component for responsive design, I will comment out the other components, which is the hero, testimonial, and arrow. Save the file and let's see the output. I'll right click and inspect. As you can see, we have the icon, the logo, and the login button. Now when I click on the icon, the header links are visible. When I click again, they'll be closed. So by following the above steps, you can easily make all your designs responsive. I hope this tutorial helps your proficiency in using the design system package. So see you all in the next tutorial.